Why do deep-sea creatures evolve into giants? Do you know that deep-sea creatures can grow to enormous sizes? But the question is why and how they grow that big. Is it evolution or what? After much research, scientists have found the answer. If you are so curious, then watch this video till the end. In this video, we'll explore the factors that allow a creature to reach such a large size, as well as the specific mechanisms that cause this growth. Due to evolutionary adaptations, some deep-sea marine species can even reach monstrous sizes. They became larger as a survival mechanism for the ocean's depths. The mystery is how or why they've grown so large. It's the result of a process called deep-sea gigantism. To understand the theory, let's talk about the depth of the ocean. 79% of the total volume of the Earth's biosphere is made up of waters deeper than 1,000 meters. So you can imagine how enormous these depths are. The ocean floor has only been partially explored in the past century. However, developments in deep-sea submarines, image capture, and testing technology are expanding marine biologists' capacity for observation and discovery. Because the deep sea is home to so much of the biosphere, and it is important to study this area. What is deep-sea gigantism? The phenomenon known as deep-sea gigantism or abyssal gigantism describes the tendency of deep-sea organisms to attain significantly bigger sizes than their shallow water peers. According to Te Ara, the Encyclopedia of New Zealand, the giant squid Mesocondylus helmutoni in subantarctic waters is around 14 times bigger than the arrow squid Notodoris sloan commonly found in New Zealand. A minivan-sized sea sponge can be found in the depths of the Pacific Ocean. But why do marine organisms find the cold, deep ocean conducive to rapid growth? It's possible that doing so is necessary for survival, and that certain conditions in the freezing water make it possible. Now, let's have a conversation about that. Why do they grow so big? Although humans have colonized most of Earth's territory, they remain geographically isolated from major sections of the planet. Roughly 95.5% of the water on Earth is found in the oceans. The deep sea is thought to hold between half and 80% of all the life on Earth, since the survival of the fittest principle predicts that all living things must compete for resources and hence cannot coexist. Species have adapted to life in their unique niches. Many diverse kinds of life flourish at the depths of the oceans across the planet. Many such organisms have evolved over millions of years to look differently in response to their environments. The evolutionary road ahead is paved with unlimited possibilities. The deep-sea giants are real examples of how species have evolved through the process of adaptation. The deep seas constitute their realm, including deep marine vents and volcanoes, rivers, lakes, seamounts, and caves. There is life everywhere on Earth, from the surface to the depths. The deepest areas of the ocean are home to some of the world's most stunning light shows. These animals have perfected the skill of thriving in extreme environments, from fluorescent corals to lanternfish to comb jellies and barbell dragonfish. Similar to island ecosystems, resources are extremely scarce in the ocean's depths. Most food is produced on the water's surface, and only a small percentage of that makes its way to the ocean floor. The ability to store more food makes larger animals more successful in times of food scarcity. When in search of sustenance or a mate, larger animals can travel greater distances and speeds. It's easier for them to store food, and they have faster metabolisms. Large predators can devour more food and store that food's power for a longer period when such a large animal slides down to the depths of the seas. How do they grow so big? The more you travel below the surface of the waves of the ocean, the stranger things become. A significant drop in temperature can be attributed to the fact that sunlight is unable to penetrate the deeper layers of the ocean bed. This means that organisms that live in these kinds of places have bigger cells and live longer, which both help the organisms keep getting bigger throughout their lives. Because there is less oxygen at deeper depths, the food sources for these species are limited. This results in slower metabolic rate, which allows them to better preserve their energy. Because they are not required to maintain a constant internal temperature, they can redirect that power to more important functions. This is another aspect that contributed to the rise in the size of their bodies. So, why can these animals be hunted? When compared to their shallow water relatives, it seems reasonable to reason that they would be contributed to greater bulk to the weighing scales found at a seafood market. The short and straightforward response to this inquiry is a loud no. Exploration in the deep sea requires a significant amount of capital, so you can imagine how much money is necessary for deep sea fishing. Can they survive in shallow water? If it had been possible for them to do so, they would have arrived there already. The hydrostatic pressure that is felt by all marine organisms is responsible for the separation of habitats. This pressure is exerted by the ocean. The pressure is said to rise proportionally with the depths of the ocean. Because of this, species with gas-filled chambers such as ourselves would perish if they were subjected to the extremely high pressures that exist at such great depths. Divers who go very deep underwater have to wear special suits that can adjust to the pressure of the water. Deep-sea organisms are mostly made of water and have very few or no air holes in their bodies so that they can survive the intense pressure they are subjected to. Because water cannot be compressed, the high pressures that exist underwater do not affect their bodies. However, there are certain drawbacks associated with this. If these organisms were to attempt to get closer to the surface of the water, the pressure at that level would fall, which would cause them to absorb gases in their circulation system and then become less soluble. Because of the gas embolism, their blood vessels would begin to produce bubbles, which would cause their bodies to enlarge and ultimately explode. That would be a terrible ending. Is deep-sea gigantism a mistake? So, how you see things will determine how you answer this question. People find it humorous when animals cover vast size ranges. Like the appearance of a mighty blue whale is more appreciated than that of a much smaller tuna fish. So too is the little bee hummingbird of Cuba more appreciated than a typical humming pigeon. This is why old mythology is often fascinating, yet none of the species can be considered an error because they have all adapted to adjust to and merge into their environment in their unique ways. Our big sea crabs, Pacific octopus, and deepwater isopods are all examples of this. Antarctica and gigantism. Humans first discovered deep-sea giants in the Antarctic, long before they were found by anybody else. Closer to Antarctica, gigantism occurs at or near the surface. Shallower waters are home to massive colonies of sea slugs, sponges, worms, sea spiders, and even huge single-celled animals. They are easily accessible for scuba divers, with some as deep as 30 feet. Antarctica's unique environment may favor a more surface-dwelling lifestyle or large animals. Gigantism has been linked to the fact that there is oxygen in the icy seas around the Antarctic continent. There is a lot of oxygen in these polar waters. However, cold water temperatures lower metabolic rates, so oxygen consumption is low in these conditions. If the animal's oxygen needs are met by the vastly superior oxygen supply, then it may be able to expand. They can grow in size and tissue thickness without becoming oxygen starved because of the favorable conditions in which they thrive. Plenty of oxygen doesn't make marine organisms grow more extensively, but it probably helps them do so. It is genuinely mind-boggling to consider the possibility that there are a vast variety of living forms hiding in the depths of the ocean, completely oblivious to one another. As we keep digging deeper and deeper into the unknown parts of our planet, we expect to find many more strange and interesting animals that haven't been found or understood yet. Okay, explorers, it's time to end the video for today. Have you ever seen a deep-sea giant? If yes, let us know in the comments section below. But before that, subscribe to my channel because I will be back with more great videos soon. Give a thumbs up to this video and share it with fellow explorers.